Hello student, in last class we have discussed the various kind of advanced operation on data frame. So today we are going to discuss the function applications. Okay, so first of all I would like to tell you what is the function application. Function application means a function that might be a user defined function or a library function may be applied on a data frame in multiple ways. Like pipe function is an example of data frame function that can be applied on a data frame in multiple ways. Another one is an apply function and another one is an apply map function. I am just giving the introduction. Of pipe function is basically used to perform any operation on the whole data frame. Then we will use the pipe function. If you want to apply any operation only on the row or on the column, then we will use the apply function. And if we want to apply the any operation on individual elements of the data frame, then you will use the apply map function. We will discuss all these three functions in detail in subsequent slides. Okay, first function is pipe function. Pipe function is basically works just like a pipe. We have the output of one program. The output of one program will become the input of another function, and then the output of this function will become the input of the another function. This is how it works. So we have added like 10 in some, we have written a function to add 10 in the each element of the data frame. Then after adding the 10 element, 10 value in any element, we will pass this value, updated value after adding 10 to another function to perform some other operation. Let's suppose this operation is multiplication, multiply by 2. That means the 2 will be multiplied. After multiplying with the value 2, the output that we will get after adding the 10 will multiply it by 2, and this output will be further will act as a input to some other function. So this acts as a pipeline. So this is how the pipe function works. Let's see this example. So the syntax for the pipe function will be data frame name dot pipe, then function name, then the value you want to perform with that function. Okay, so pipe function, as we have already discussed, that pipe function will actually applies on the whole data frame. That's why whenever we apply the pipe function, it will apply on the whole data frame at a one time. So for example, we are importing the pandas, then importing numpy, then we are creating some data frame through the dictionary. This is the way. Science marks will be the column. So this is the science underscore marks is a column. Values are 20, 50, 60, 80 and 40. Then English marks is a column. We have the values 89, 87, 67, 55 and 47. Now we have created this data frame using this code. Now we want to apply the pipe function, df.pipe np.add 30. That function, what this function will do, it will, as we know, the pipe function will apply on the all the elements of the data frame. So it will add 30 to all the elements. So after adding the 30 in the 20, it will become 50, 50. This one becomes 70, this one becomes 60 plus 30, 90 and so on. You will add 30 to all the elements, English marks as well as science marks. Now the output of the first pipe function will act as an input to this next pipe function, as we have seen in this pipeline. So what will happen? Np dot multiply 3. Whatever value we get after adding 30 will be multiplied by 3. Now 50 is multiplied by 3, then what value we will get? 150 we will get. Then after applying the 70 will be multiplied by 3, then 210. This is the 210. Then multiply 90 by 30, 70, this value we will get 270, and so on for all the data elements. Now the output of this pipe function will act input for this function. Now np dot divide 10, so 150 divided by 10, then 15 will be output, then 210 divided by 10, then 21 will be output, 270 divided by 10, then 27 will output. So this is how this output is generated: 15, 24, 27, 33, 35, and so on. Okay, so keep this in mind. So 50 plus 30, actually it will be 80, that's why we are getting 21, 80, and this will become 240, and this will become 24. This was the mistake. Okay, so this is how the pipe function work. Let me move ahead. Okay, now second function is apply function. As we have seen, this apply function is a element column applies either by column wise or by row wise. Either it will apply on a single row or either it will apply on a single column at a time. So in this scenario we will use the apply function. The syntax will be data frame name dot apply, then function name. Okay, and axis 0 means apply it row wise, and axis 1 means apply is column wise. Okay, so for example import pandas as pd, import numpy as np, then we have the same data frame science marks, English marks given, and now we have created data frame using this code. Now we want to apply mean of the data frame, row wise. Axis equals to 1 means row wise, because this is the axis 0 and this is the axis 1. So we want to compute the mean row wise. So we have passed the axis equals to 1. So first row 22 plus 89 will be added. 22 plus 89 will be added. How can we calculate mean? You should know. 89. Oh, I don't have a pen, that's why it is like this. 89 divided by 2. So whatever value, what we will get, 9 or 2, 1, and 8 or 2, 1, 1. So 1, 1, 1 divided by 2. So we will get 55.5. Similarly, for these 55 plus 87 divided by 2, similarly we will get all those values. So it is applying row wise. If you pass axis 0, then all these values will be added and divide by 5. All these values will be added and divide by 5 if you pass the axis equals to 0. And similarly English marks will be added and divide by 5. We will get the output if we have passed the axis equals to 0. This is how it either it applies row wise or either it applies column wise. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now we want to discuss the apply map. Apply map function, as we know, applies on the data frame elements individually. Okay, so what is the syntax of this apply map? Data frame name dot apply map, then function name. Let me show the example. We are covering the same example. Import pandas as pd, import numpy as np. We have created the data frame using dictionary, student, science marks, and English marks. Now we want to apply the apply map. This question is asked in the CBSE sample paper. So you should remember this, how this function works. Apply map function applies on the individual element of the data frame, like 22, 55, 63, 89, 85, and 47. So what this function will do? Lambda is a Python feature which apply on the this is a short syntax for x plus 2. It will pass x individual element and it will add the 2 into that element and return to the apply map function. So 22 plus 2, 24, 55 plus 2, 57, 63 plus 2, 65. So it is applying on each individual element of the data frame. So keep this in mind. Apply map, apply, and another function, pipe function, we have discussed. Okay, let me move ahead. Now we will see another important function, group by. Question may be asked on this function also, either of 1 mark or 2 mark. Group by is very similar to the concept group by we have discussed in SQL. So the syntax for the group by will be data frame name dot group by, then the column name by which you want to group the data, and then x is equals to 0 or 1 for column wise or row wise. Let's see the example. Import pandas HPD, then we are creating some data frame using 2D dictionary. Team, we have the data of the team, then we have the data of the team, the rank of the individual team, then we have the year in which they have got this rank, and year and the points they have got in the particular year wise rank and points. So the team wise, team their rank in which year they have this rank position and how much points they have in that particular year. So this data is given and this data frame is created. Now if you want to group by this data, group by means like we want to create the groups by team. So what we will write, df dot group by, then team. We can write it also like this, by equals to team. We can write also by equals to team. We will like this. It is both way, it is fine. By equals to team, this will be the column name of the data frame. Okay, so by equals to team, then it will group by team. So it will create how much groups? It will find the unique values. Rider is a rider, how much time? 1 2 3 times rider, 4 times rider. So one group will be created with name as riders. This you can see here. Then another group will be created, devils. Devils is repeating it 2 times. So devils is another group. It will create kings, kings. This is a capital, this is a small case. That's why 1 2 3 3 values are there. So kings, with the name of the kings, one group will be created. With the small k ings, one more group will be created, and with royals another group will be created. This is here. So 1 2 3 4 5 groups are created with the name riders, devils, royals and kings, and capital kings starting from the capital K and kings starting from the small k. So these 5 groups will be created if we execute this line, df dot group by team. Okay, and if someone asks that you want to create the group by, if you pass by equals to let's suppose rank, not the team, then rank wise if you want to create the group, then what will happen? It will create rank wise group. So how many ranks are there? Unique ranks, one is repeating 4 times, so one group will be created. Then 2 is repeated 3 times, 4 times, so the 2 will be created, another group. Then 3 is repeated 2 times, so 3 will be the another group. Then 4, so these 4 groups will be created if we group by rank. If we group by year, then 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 4 groups will be created. If we create the group by points, then similar way we can create some groups by points also. So group by means the same values will fall under a group. Okay, let me move ahead. We will see this topic in detail in subsequent slides also. Okay, so after group by, we will hold the result of group by in some variable. Let's suppose we have hold it into the variable gdf in previous slide. Now if we want to get a specific group, like we have created the group by teams, then 4 or 5 groups were created, and if we want to display some specific group data, then we can get this group by using this code, gdf dot get group, and then group name will be either riders, either devils, either royals, either kings. So you will pass the name of the group and subsequent data will be displayed like this. So the riders data is displayed from this particular group by result. So these are the 4 data with the riders group. So all these 4 are displayed with other data. Now if we want to get the size of the group, size of the group means how much elements are there in each group. Like Devil's group, we have the 2 rows, so 2 is the output. Then we have the Kings. In Kings group, how many data we have? Starting with capital K, 1 2 3 rows is there, so 3 is coming. Now riders have the 1 2 3 and 4 data is there with riders, so we are having the 4 as output. Royals, we have 2, and Kings with K, starting with capital small k, we have only 1 row that is there. 5th row, so we have the group size. So question of 1 or 2 marks directly may be asked that to get the group size in a data frame, then what function we will use? So we will use gdf.size. Then another function, important function, is gdf.count. gdf.count will do the same thing, but it will do for individual row, and it will count only the data which has non NaN value. So the output of the size and count will be similar if there is no any NaN value in the data frame. So you can see the output is same, 2 3 4 2 1, because the data frame doesn't have any NaN value. Okay, let me move ahead. Okay, so now we will discuss some applying the aggregate functions on the group by result. We know that after the group by, we will get some groups, and these groups will have multiple rows, and we can apply the aggregate functions like sum, count, max, mean, mode, x, everything on this group by result. So in this example, we are trying to apply the aggregate function np.mean and np.sum on the group by result. So we have done the group by through the team name in our previous example, and if you want to get the team wise mean and sum of the rank column, team wise mean and sum of the year column, team wise mean and sum of the points column, for that particular purpose we may apply the aggregate functions, and you will get the output like this. So for riders group, there is there are we can see the in previous example how many rows are there. In riders group there were 4 rows, and if we add the rank 2 2 2 6 and 7 divided by 4, what will be the output? 1 point sum. 7 divided by 4, and we will get the result like this, 1.75. Similarly, we can compute for other groups and other data elements. Like for sum, we can say 2 2 and 2 plus 1, that is 7. How am I calculating this? I am using the riders data from this group. Like this riders group has rank 2 2 2 6 and 1, so sum of the rank column will be 7. This is how it is calculated. Okay, for the same thing we will calculate for each group, and we will get this complete table. Okay, I am discussing just for a single group riders. You may see and compute it for every group. Okay, thank you. Now let me move ahead. Okay, now we will see in another important function, transform function. What transform function do? It will apply the output of the aggregate function into the original data frame, such that we need not to see the results by get group, and then we will dot apply aggregate function, and then we will see the result. So if we want to see the result of the aggregate function in front of the each row or column of the data frame, then we will use this transform function. Like if we want to display the mean of these group rank, if we want to display the mean of the rank column in front of each and every row, then we want to display the rank column mean of every group, like rider groups. In front of riders group, we want to display the mean of the rank of the riders group. In front of devils, we want to display the mean of the devils group. We want to display the mean of the kings group in front of kings group of rank column. Okay, for that purpose we may use this transform function. It will compute the mean of the rank column, and then it will append this result of the mean function in front of each and every row of the original data frame. Original data frame is this, and we are getting the output of the mean function of the each group in front of each row, as we can see here. So for that purpose we use the transform function. Okay, let me move ahead. Now we will see the another important concept, rename function. Rename function, as the name suggests, it will rename the index or column index. It may be used for renaming the column index or row index. Let me show you how it helps in renaming. So it has the two syntax, df dot rename. We can pass the mapper means we can pass the mapper like this, dictionary key value pair. Like this data frame, df has Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 as the row index, and if we want to change the row index with new values, we can pass the new mapper in a key value pair format. Like Q1 should be replaced with 1, then the new index will become 1, then Q2 will become 2, Q3 will become 3, Q4 will become 4. If you execute this line, this is the example of passing the mapper of the key value pairs to rename the index. Now if you want to, by default axis will be 0, so it will apply as on this particular row wise. And if you want to, what is the use of in place argument? In place argument is meaning, true means the change, the rename function's output, rename function will take place in the data frame, in this data frame. आई मीन जैसे अपन रीनेम फंक्शन अप्लाई करेंगे और डेटा फ्रेम जो ओरिजिनल डेटा फ्रेम है उसी के अंदर यदि आप लोग ये 1 2 3 4 चेंजेस देखना चाहते हो, ओरिजिनल डेटा फ्रेम में ही ये चेंजेस करना चाहते हो, तो आप लोग इन प्लेस आर्ग्यूमेंट को ट्रू सेट कर देंगे. ओके, एंड इफ यू डोंट वांट टू चेंज दिस ओरिजिनल डेटा फ्रेम एंड यू वांट टू गेट द न्यू डेटा फ्रेम with the changes, then you will not use in place argument equals to true. In this case, by default in place argument is false and it will return a new data frame if you don't pass in place equals to true. It will not change in the original data frame, it will change in the data frame, create a new data frame, change the indexes and return it in the response. So this is how in place argument takes place. So these are the examples. Let me move ahead. Okay, now we will see the reindex function. Reindex function, as we have in this we have discussed the sort underscore index function in last lecture. Similar way reindex function also do. Reindex function what it will do, it will reindex our data frame as per the argument passed into the reindex function. So let me see, this is the reindex, not rename. Okay, so syntax will be very similar, data frame name dot reindex, then we will pass the new index of the data frame in which you want to change, fill value and none, and the columns. We will see those arguments meaning in the example. So let me discuss the first example. Reordering the reindex function may be used to reorder the original data frame. Let's suppose this original data frame as quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 and 2016, 2017, 2018 as the column indices. Now what we want to do, we want to display quarter 1 on the first position, quarter 1 on the second position, quarter 3 on the third position, quarter 2 on the fourth position. Then we will use the reindex function. So what will be the new data frame will look like? QTR 4 will come on the first, then QTR 1 will come, then QTR 3 will come, and then QTR 2 will come. So this is how it will display, and 2016, 17, 18 will remain as it is. Now this is the one use of the reindex function. Another use is you can add or delete the indices using this reindex function. What it will do, if we want to add a new row or new column, this can be done through this reindex function. If you pass the argument in reindex function of such a that, like if I pass the argument q5, let's suppose in this example only, then what this reindex function do, it will reindex like this. The columns which are found will be reindexed like this. But if there is no column that we have found in this data frame, original data frame, then this new column will get added, new row will be inserted, and the default value for these columns will be NaN, similarly NaN. Okay, so this is how it can help in reindex, help in adding the new row. And if you want to delete some row from the data frame, you can also use this reindex function. Let's suppose while reindexing you have removed this QTR2 from this list, then what it will do, it will only display the Q4, quarter 4, read this quarter 4, Q1, quarter 1 and QTR3 in the output, but it will not display the QTR2 because QTR2 is present in original data frame, but it has been removed from the data frame, that is reindexed. So this is how it is working as a deleting the index, deleting the row. And in previous example we have seen adding a row. So this reindex function can be used for adding the new row, deleting the existing row, or reordering the indices. So these are the three purposes of this reindex function. Keep this in mind. Okay, question may be asked and you may be confused. But in case of rename, if you skip any indices in mapper, then it will not remove. And if you add new key value pair in the mapper while using the rename function, it will not add new row. So keep this in mind. In case of rename, it doesn't impact, but in case of reindex, if you deleted the existing indexes removed from the reindex function, it will remove that index from the data frame. And if you pass the in place argument true, then it will affect on original data frame, otherwise it will return a new data frame for use and original data frame will remain same. And now the question may be asked, so in your mind you want that while adding the new column, let's suppose we have added this Q5 as a new column, then for the 2016, 2017, 2018 NaN value will be added by default, NaN will be added, but you don't want this NaN to be added, but you want that some default value should be added. Then you can use the fill underscore value argument of this reindex function for adding if we pass the in this example, if we pass the fill underscore value equals to 5000, then 5000 value will be inserted instead of NaN value. So keep this in mind. Okay, let me move ahead. Okay, now we have another example, reindex like. Reindex like is a very simple function. It will take two arguments, data frame dot reindex like and other data frame. Okay, so what did this function do? It will, let's suppose this is your df, this is your df, and this is your cell underscore, this is your cell underscore df. Let's suppose these are the two df. Now we have executed this line df dot reindex like cell underscore df. In this case, what will happen? Reindex like cell df, so the structure of the cell df will be taken as it is, like this I am creating here. So the structure of which data frame will be taken? The argument which we have passed. So cell df structure will be taken. The cell df structure is what? There is a 2016, then 2017, then 2019. So this is the structure, this is the column structure, means row index and column index will be copied. Now how many rows? 3 rows are there. So 3 rows we need to put 1, 2, we will increase this little bit, yeah. So here we will have we will copy the structure from cell df only, because we are reindexing like cell df, and then we will have the qtr 1, then we will have qtr 2, then we will have qtr 3. Okay, now the values will be copied from this data frame. This is the important thing. The structure of which data frame will be copied? New data frame, cell df, the structure, the data will come from this data frame, original data frame. So qtr1 2016, how much value? 34. So 34 will come. qtr1 2017, how much value? 21. So 21 will come. qtr1 2019, there is no such column in original data frame, so it will be NN. Next qtr2 2016, how much value? 35, and qtr 2017 28. So 35 and then 28, and then there is no column 2019 for qtr2 also, so NN. Next value is qtr3. qtr3 2016 or 17 value is will be 38, and then 30, and then there is no column 2019 in the original data frame, so NN will be copied. So this is how the reindex like function works. Let me move ahead. I hope you understood it. Okay, so homework is practice as much as possible questions, and we will discuss some CBSE important question in the next lecture. I will share the link for downloading this PDF in next video. Thank you. That's all for in this session. If you have any doubt, identify the slide, note down the slide number given on the slide, mention it in the subject of email, send the your question in the body of the email, and send the message to me classes@mgs@gmail.com. If you have any suggestion, you may also send the suggestion on this email ID. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.